So I had previous experience of the educational project that I was involved with, and I was quite keen from my learning to be able to communicate that to fellow colleagues and students and help them in their learning. I had also identified things that could have been improved about in and around materials or new resources that could be created. And so I felt I was in quite a good position to create those materials. So I certainly have developed the skills that I already have. I've spent a lot of time with societies creating posters and presentations and things for revision. And I was certainly able to put that into practice, I think, in quite a beneficial way in the studentship. But certainly I did learn some new ones. There is a difference in creating resources for students that will be online. And so specifics of that would possibly be thinking about text and about font and about colour. And those things are important, as well as creating resources that are accessible to all students. So whether it be PDF or images, certainly I developed those skills. Yes, so other skills that I did use quite regularly myself would have been saving things online, so I would always have a backup. And now with students in my groups, we would routinely edit our presentations online, which saves a lot of time between emailing backwards and forwards. And the students have found good benefit out of that. So I do think I've been able to share the experiences that I gained in the studentship. So even before the studentship, I did notice that I was able to spot resources online that were created by students, and I do find that they have an added relevance. Students are able to decide what needs to be changed or what will be more useful and relevant for learning and identify better ways to learn. And so I have found that materials created by students do focus on the areas that you struggle with and do explain things on a much more down-to-earth basis. So then whenever I was creating my resources, I felt that it was particularly appropriate to collate the ideas from the student body. These weren't just ideas that were from myself or ideas that I thought should have been improved. Ideas were gathered from students and the changes were made in that way. And so I do feel like these resources will have added benefit for all of the student body and not just something that will supplement my learning. I do think it will supplement the learning of my whole year group. So I do think lecturers assume that students are quite technically able, but actually I found that that's not the case. Our generation use technology a lot differently in terms of using social media. This doesn't necessarily correlate with your learning sometimes, and certainly something that I did struggle with at the start would be the referencing software, and I did find classes particularly beneficial for that. There was a session run for us on how to use the referencing software. Other examples would possibly be in terms of preparing presentations. For the first couple of groups we had sent emails backwards and forwards to each other, but perhaps a session on how to quickly prepare presentations, so maybe online editing would be particularly beneficial for students, or any sort of workshop in how you can really use technology for the benefit of your education and use social media appropriately. I do feel that that would be appropriate or useful for students. Certainly we had a few of these, but maybe not as many as we would have needed. So I have found the process particularly beneficial to be involved in. I've seen what goes on behind the scenes in creating resources, and I do think there is massive potential for resources that are created by students for students. And I would really encourage students to become actively involved in that and in sharing knowledge in a way that's beneficial for education.